Okay. Just a few things. There's the flag of Chicago, the city that you see here. That's what that flag is. Slander is a serious sin, I agree. Due process with an orthodoxy. The sources, you say it's a logical fallacy. That I said that those sources are Protestant or anti-Orthodox. Well, the sources do matter because what they say is factually incorrect. And also, quoting a source like John Wesley, who didn't know anything about the ancient church, was primarily an anti-Calvinist evangelist who was trying to purify the Christianity that came out of the Church of England, and didn't have access to the vast majority of the stuff that we have access to today. It wasn't translated from the Greek and Syriac and Arabic. But the slander issue, again, about people like Constantine, consider himself above bishops, installed pagan statues in Hagia Sophia, and installed pagan imagery. Now, again, Constantine had been dead for 199 years before Hagia Sophia was built. He didn't build. It was Justinian that built Hagia Sophia. And when trying to answer questions about orthodoxy, you should use, or even early Christianity, you should use Roman Catholic, Eastern Orthodox, Oriental Orthodox, Assyrian Church of the East, or if you're really pressed, Oriental or Lutheran. And so far I've seen no corrections. I'm saying, oh yeah, my mistake, I don't want to mislead people, so these things that I put as fact, yeah, they're not actually, I don't want to, when speaking about the truth of Christianity, I don't want to mislead and give people the wrong answers. So far there's been no corrections. As for the phone call, yes, I did. I called you multiple times. You didn't pick up. I can't show the times I called on Google Hangout because I don't have a duplicate of this phone where I could click on Google Hangout and show how many times I called you. But yeah, I did, and you didn't pick up. So again, I'll be willing to talk to you at any time. But yeah, why no corrections of when you get things wrong? And again, putting pagan images in Hagia Sophia, how would that even be remotely possible if Hagia Sophia did not exist? Not to mention again, to answer Orthodox questions, using Protestant works that aren't even speaking about Orthodoxy, or that are quoting other sources that are incorrect. That's the fallacy from authority that you've been using. Again, I don't want this to be hostile, but you say that I slander you, but yet you say many things, and you slander and call saints of the church heretics, and then when you've been corrected on them, you take no correction. Look it up. Constantine died 199 years before Hagia Sophia was built. That's across 3 centuries that went on. Half of a century and 1 century, and then a half of another century to have that church built. That's why it's Justinian and Theodora are up there, not Constantine. And Constantine, in all the points that I brought up, there were Mercury head dimes 80 years ago. We have quarters that say, "In God we trust" on them. Does that mean that 80 years ago the American public worshipped Mercury, or we worship George Washington today? The refusal to accept the Didache as being from the 1st century, and citing irreputable sources, non-reputable sources. I mean, I don't cite individuals. I cite dates, archaeology, and primary works, not some modern scholar from the last 100, 200, 300 years talking about a primary source. But I'd be glad to speak with you at any time. Again, I tried calling you about 6 times, and you didn't pick up, and then you make a video saying, "Oh, well, yeah, he never called." Is that not a lie? I mean, isn't that you lying when you make a video saying that I just ducked out of the discussion? Again, it's still open. I'm willing to talk with you, because it's sad to see a Christian go down this route and use tertiary sources, Western sources, who are predisposed against, it's just like using Protestant sources is like using Muslim sources. You're going to get a skewed view of the early church. That's my problem with that. And not using, things like the carbon dating, the polygraphy dating, and other primary sources to show that these things existed at the time. But there was a lot of things said against Constantine, and many of them were things that Justinian did, not Constantine. So there it is, to truth be told again. All right, peace to you.